The fruit of the Spirit is the fruit of the Spirit. It's not the fruit of you. It's not going to be produced by your own power. You can decide to be more patient, and you will be for a period of time until something happens that screws up your plans. Right? Like until all of a sudden you don't have the strength to be patient on your own power anymore. And then you're going to fail, and you're going to wonder why you're failing, because it's not supposed to be you. It's supposed to be the Spirit. The way you grow these things is your connection with the Holy Spirit. This is why when you walk with the Lord, you should become a better person. And if you have known the Lord for a period of time and you look at your life soberly and you think, I haven't gotten any better, then I want to tell you, you're missing out. You may have found religion. I'm not saying you don't know Jesus and that you're not saved, but you are probably trying to live from a religious viewpoint instead of a connection to the Holy Spirit. Because the Holy Spirit, He will lead you and teach you and guide you. He will convict you. He will change you. And these fruit will actually become authentic in your life. You're not going to overnight become perfect, but you're going to grow and you're going to change. The best advice I can give to anybody when they talk about getting married is to marry somebody who loves Jesus. Someone who loves Jesus. And the reason is because if they love Jesus, they're going to change. You're going to go through hard times sometimes. I'm sorry, I'm not predicting gloom. It's just life. But you're going to come through it, and the change is going to lead to better things, because that's what happens with Jesus. Jamie, who I thought was amazing when I married him, and he was. He was. But he loves me today so much better than he did 26 years ago. And the reason isn't because he's learned a thing or two about marriage, although he has. You know, he's learned things like, bring me coffee in the morning and I love you. Like, my love grows every time that happens, right? Like, he's learned things. And it's good. But the reason why he loves me so well is because he's been being transformed the entire 26 years that we're married, because he's been walking with the Lord, because he loves the Lord and he walks according to the Spirit. And I think if you asked him, he would say the same is true about me. Like, we're a work in progress. We're not perfect, but we have these characteristics in our life that would not be able to exist if it wasn't for the Holy Spirit. Years ago, I had a difficult correction to my thinking. I'm going to share this, and then we will land the plane. But when we started the church, we had just had, like, the same month the church started, we had our third child. And we didn't know what we were getting into. We didn't even mean to start a church. If you haven't heard that story, we don't have time for it right now. But in those days, you know, we were just kind of figuring it out as we went along. We lived in Belle Plaine, so we were about 45 minutes to an hour from, like, anything that we were doing ministry-wise. I was home with kids most of the time. Like, I participated, and you know, and it was wonderful, but I spent a lot of time at home while Jamie was doing things with the prayer room or doing like conferences and things like that. And I wasn't upset about it at all, because the Lord had promised me, like, very clearly. He just said, don't worry, you're not going to miss anything. Anything Jamie receives, you receive too. Like, don't worry about it, you know? So there were moments where I was like, oh, that would have been nice, you know? But I was really, honestly content. I'm sharing that because what I didn't realize that I had in my heart was this idea that someday it was going to be my turn. And I don't mean, like, not Jamie's turn, because Jamie's always been really amazing at, like, including me and factoring me in, and we live life as a team and together and all of that. But we, you know, we're figuring stuff out, and there's things that I had in my heart that it just wasn't time for. And I was just, like, waiting until it was my turn. And as the church is being established, Jamie knows that he's supposed to be picking up dreams of the people from the generation above us, that we had, like, this is what we're supposed to live for. We're supposed to be connecting our hearts to these people that the Lord's put in our lives, and we're supposed to be living out not our dreams, but their dreams. And that's what we did. Jamie is so amazing this way, and he hopefully will have more opportunity to share some of these stories, because I know he hasn't shared them all publicly. But he's so good about coming alongside people from the generations above us, connecting to their hearts and finding ways to serve them and to help fulfill dreams that they weren't able to fulfill themselves. And I love that. But what I didn't realize was that I thought at some point it would be our turn for our dreams, right? We're trying to fulfill other people's dreams, but I got some dreams. And Jamie and I are having this conversation one day, and this happened in many different layers over years, but I remember this one time specifically where we're talking about something, and I don't even remember the exact words that are exchanged, but I basically said something like, yeah, but then it'll be kind of like our turn. Or something like that, right? And then it's going to be our turn. And he just looked at me and he goes, no, babe. It's never going to be our turn. We're serving this. We're doing these things. But then, as soon as we can, this is about the next generation. It's not about us. It's not going to be our turn. And I was floored. And I was mad. What do you mean it's not going to be my turn? I waited patiently. I'm not forcing my way. I'm not whatever, And the Lord began to speak to me too and do this work in my heart. And he spoke to me through Johnathan. This is one of the reasons why the story of Johnathan is so dear to me. Because he did just say to me so clearly through that story, this is how you're supposed to live. It wasn't ever Jonathan's turn, and it's not going to be your turn either. Because in the kingdom, it's not about you. It's always about other people. When your heart is aligned with heaven, you use advantages and opportunities that come your way to benefit others. You're not selfishly hoarding them for yourself. You're not forcing your own way, but you lay your life down for the sake of another. And there is no other way to keep your heart pure before God. By the way, this doesn't mean that you don't ever get anything. The Lord's so good. He's so good, but you don't have to worry about it. He's going to take care of you. His eye is on you. He sees you. He knows the dreams of your heart. He knows the people that you should be connected to and aligned to. And there's some dreams that you're going to get to experience coming true in your life. But you know what? Some of the dreams in your heart aren't for you. They're so that you can make a way for somebody else to experience that. And if your heart gets aligned with heaven, the good news is that doesn't feel painful, but it feels like an honor. If Johnathan were standing here today, I am confident that he would not regret any of his choices around David. In fact, I can guarantee that he would say what an honor it was that he got to participate in David's life, right? He gets to reap the legacy of David's kingdom because of the way that he positioned himself.